Hey friends, welcome back to Bookish Flights. I'm your host, Kara, and today's episode is going to be a bit different. I'm flying solo today to share something that recently happened this weekend because I think it's something that we can all learn from. So let's dive in. Over the weekend, my Bookish Flights Instagram account was hacked. If you've ever been through this, you know how frustrating and overwhelming this can feel. It wasn't just about losing access to my account, but it was also about protecting my community and everything that I've built in there. And I know you're thinking, how is this relevant to me? How is this about books and reading? But I wanted to share this with you so maybe you can learn from my mistakes. So first off, before we even dig into the whole story, stop right here and go turn on two-factor authentication on your social media accounts right now. This is the first line of defense. It ensures that even if someone can get your password, they can't get into your account because they also need the second verification code. And you can set this up under Instagram or Facebook on your security. So stop right now, go make sure you have two-factor authentication turned on, and then come back. So let me tell you what happened. Sunday evening, I was having dinner with family and, I try to keep my phone down like most of us, right? I try to not be looking at it. I want to have a nice evening with my family. I want to tell you that all of this transpired within an hour and 20 minutes. So while I had my phone down and I'm enjoying family time, the hacker had done all of the above. They had gotten into my account. They had changed the email associated with my account. So if you get anything from bookishflights@outlook.com, that is not me. They then changed and turned on two-factor authentication because I did not have that. So please learn from my mistake. And then they started posting on my account about Bitcoin. And if you do Bitcoin, that is great. But I try to keep my Instagram purely about books, reading, and maybe a little bit about my personal life. But I would never share about Bitcoin. So my first email that I received was that someone had logged into my account near Los Angeles. And that's not that far from me here in San Diego. So I really didn't think much of it. But then I kept getting all of these emails, right? As I continue to look further up, I have all of these changes were happening. So once I realized this happens, you get this email from Instagram and it says, we would not change your email until you confirm this. So I go to click the link in that email, I verified it was from Instagram. That link had already expired. So in an hour and 20 minutes, Instagram had already decided they were going to change my email over to this Outlook email that the hacker had made. So then you go into Instagram and you tell them my account has been hacked, and they have all these articles and a help desk, and you kind of get caught in this cycle of I've already clicked this link and now I'm being sent back. I don't have email access to my account. There's all these different options that you can choose. And what I'm going to tell you with this is just be persistent. My husband and I watched a bunch of YouTube videos about other people that this has happened to, and someone was saying that they had to do multiple times before they could get the facial recognition to work. And that was what I was able to eventually use to get in, but I will tell you, it probably took me no short of 8 times of going through the steps. And they would say, oh, we're going to send this to your email. And it looked like it was actually my original email, right? It had some part of K Infante in there. But it would never come through. So I think that link was going to the hacker's email, and that I couldn't then get logged in, quote unquote, to do the facial recognition. I knew once I could get to the facial recognition, I would be good because I have pictures of myself on the account and Instagram would be able to verify. But it took me 3.5 hours, for perspective, to finally get logged back into my account. So I get back into my account. Of course, I turn two-factor authentication on as my very first thing. I change all of my passwords on every single social media account that I have because I also have a personal one that I share with family that was linked to Bookish Flights. So I go and I change all of that. And if you're anything like me that gets incredibly frustrated with passwords, because they're all different and they all have to have all these special things. And it's just, it's such a nightmare. And then it's a nightmare to remember them, especially in the moment, right? When you're frantically changing everything. So I finally get logged back in, and lo and behold, I realize that I now have all of these violations on my account. So I go to appeal that essentially I didn't post these stories about Bitcoin on my Instagram, and there is no drop down button that applies to a situation of I did not post this. So of course they denied my appeal. And, the whole time I'm looking like, can I talk to someone at Instagram? Is there someone I can call? Is there a help desk, a chat person I can reach out to? No, there's not. So if you are a Bookstagram author, writer, editor, if you have a community on Instagram, unless you become meta verified, which I have been kind of, digging my heels in about becoming meta verified. That's a whole nother story. But I decided to become meta verified, which is the little blue check mark for those that aren't familiar, because you actually can get chat support through meta verified. So as of right now, you'll see the little blue check mark over by Bookish Flights. So I am now in appeal with Instagram because these restrictions last from 3 days I cannot message people to 90 days they won't show my account to any new people, and 365 days I can't go live. And this is all due to the content that the hacker posted, which A, Instagram knows I was hacked, B, they can see it was in the window of the time I didn't have access to my account, but they keep denying my appeal. And the most frustrating part of this is they're saying, well, just keep posting healthy content that's not in violation, and we will eventually restore it, but we cannot give you a timeline of when this will happen. As you can tell, this is going to be a great lesson in patience for me, and I'm trying not to be frustrated. But I can be happy about I have since recovered my account. They're at least appealing it for the third time, and hopefully we'll be back to working in normal fashion on Instagram here soon. So what can you do for yourself so this doesn't happen for you? First, enable that two-factor authentication. Honestly, pause this episode and go do that right now. Second, be wary of links. I don't think this happened to me, but I know that they get really good at being able to send links, and Instagram would never send these unsolicited messages or emails. So really just make sure before you click on anything. I already mentioned before creating strong and unique passwords, but also backing up your account. So maybe logging in and making sure you have access to the email and the phone number on your account, because I had to use both of those to get myself logged back in. Lastly, I realized through this the power of community. I have had such sweet messages reaching out to me, wondering what they can do to help and what a nightmare this is. Here's the thing. Word of mouth is the most effective way to spread the word about the podcast or what you've enjoyed from the podcast. So if you've enjoyed any of our episodes, whether it's from favorite authors, it's discovering new books that you loved, or just spending time learning about other authors or people in the bookish communities, would you please share it with someone? Because I'm shadowed right now, my content can't get pushed out to anyone new. So the best way to do this is sending them a link of your favorite episode, post about it on your social media, or even bring it up during your next book club or a coffee chat with a friend. I think books are one of the greatest conversational currencies that we have. Last thing, if you're not signed up for our newsletter, go ahead and head to the link in the show notes, and please do, because I desperately wanted to reach out to everyone on my Bookstagram account and say, please don't open any links for me. This story is not posted by me, because I wanted to protect my community, but I had no access to do that. So please click the link for the newsletter. I promise I will not spam you. I literally don't have time but sending 2 newsletters every month. In the event that something like this were to happen again, I can also reach you to say, please don't click on anything from me. Thank you for tuning in today and for being a part of this incredible community here at Bookish Flights. I hope these tips help you keep your account safe and give you a little peace of mind. We'll be back tomorrow with regularly scheduled programming with an episode from Jenny L. Walsh, and she is an incredible historical fiction author who's out telling untold stories of women in history, and this is a book you're not going to want to miss.